how things are going.
So I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1. We are live on Twitch. Let me get a yeehaw. Come on.
Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
It's been forever. It has. It's been actually forever on an astronomical sort of thing. But how long has it been since we played? 2 months?
I think
Probably
2.
now.
Oh, I didn't put a date on this.
Oh, John fails. So, you know, in terms of John's notes, it was just the other day. But
September
Yeah,
30th.
exactly. September?
September 30th.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah. Because
So long.
Lenora made a comment. It said, let's say mom or aunt next time to make it more believable.
You know what's funny? We started this campaign in like July, right? So the amount of time that passed between July and then versus then and now is
yeah. I love it. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but I guess it has.
I mean, the
Years
good news
flying
is, the good news is that Zoom has introduced some all new features that make it even harder to avoid talking over each other, which is cool. So, it makes it cringy when you're editing and everybody's just like, ding, ding. You feel like that person. But I think here's what we're gonna do. We're going to give a quick update on the channel. So I just want to give you guys a high five. So we're now at about 1,100 followers. So we tipped the other side of 1,000, right? So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And our revenues, man, we are in the single dollar digit, but we're in there. Ooh. So you know, by the end of Christmas, each of you will probably get close to 75 cents by the time we divide it all up, which is good. We're not here for the money.
Can I donate my revenue back to the stream?
You absolutely can. You absolutely can. Yeah. So for those of you who are joining us, thanks for piling into the Twitch. Go follow us so we can get that full dollar, for each of these folks. Also, we have new merch that is arriving. A few people are waiting for t-shirts. I keep getting emails. I know. I am so sorry. That's on me. But they assure me it'll be here by Christmas Eve. So apparently Santa is bringing the new merch, which is great. That's how VIP we are. And then also there's going to be a Teespring store, and I'm gonna encourage these guys to help me design some merch to go there. That's like your kind of default print on demand stuff. But the casts are going to help me figure out what exactly these shirts say. So hopefully it's super cool and offensive. So there's that. We have an episode of Office Hours I am editing that should be coming out soon. Hopefully you guys are excited because I have a surprise for you. So Shane Hensley from Pinnacle Entertainment has agreed to chat with us on the next Office Hours. He's the guy that wrote Savage Worlds. So he's like Mr. Savage Worlds. That's his last name, Savage Worlds.
And they just produced the new thing at Deadlands too.
They just announced that they are going to fix everything that went wrong with Pathfinder. They're going to take the Pathfinder fiction into the Savage World system, so it's easy to play. It doesn't require a master's degree in Pathfindering or whatever. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to ask him a bunch of questions. If you guys watch this stream and you have any questions that you would like to have answered from Shane, like does he really fly planes and stuff? Let us know. And then finally, I just wanted to read this to you guys because like every once in a while, I'm privy to a comment that's like, kind of cool. And it's a little bit long, and it comes to us from, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, I think, but it's Slajan Runkik, maybe. It's 11 hours ago. He says, hey guys, don't know on which video to comment, so let's go with this one. I simply want to sincerely thank you for your rules bites for Warhammer. You could fill in any of our episodes here, but it's just the general theme. I just jammed my first game of WFRP and second FRP game ever, thanks in large part to your quick bite-sized videos. I read the core rulebook multiple times, but these videos nonetheless served as great reminders for pre-game prep a day or two before each session, since they are are they? And well put together, which that's debatable, but thanks, and easily digestible for or a newbie like myself. In brief, thank you for your help. Keep up the good work and Godspeed. I hope that you reach your increases as fast as possible. Guys, click subscribe. I have already recommended this channel to my friends who are keen on role-playing, GMing, Warhammer, or Call of Cthulhu. Best wishes. So, guys, you know, what's cool is we all get together and have a blast. And as I watch these episodes and I go to edit them, I like literally piss my pants laughing at the stuff you say. But what I want you to take away from that comment is he's not alone in his observations of what we're up to. And the one guy, by the way, Len, was really mad at me for giving you cancer. He was like, oh man, that's a hard thing to give. Anyway,
I'm glad he cares.
It's harder to get rid of.
Yes. Anyway, so I got to make my rounds. It's been forever, and I'm going to start in the bottom right-hand corner with Len. What's going on? How have you been? What's up?
I mean, I've just been keeping on with this whole year, as I'm sure everybody else has been. Everything is still weird, but just focusing on work. Although I did just put up a Fiverr account and a Patreon page for my artwork. So that has pretty much been the project I've been working on, trying to actually start doing more art. Even since I got our pictures for Roll20 done, I bought an iPad Pro, so I've been working on that, and it's really, really fun. So that's pretty much it. Just arting a lot.
Can you give us a link? Can you give us a link so that we can put in the description and everything else? So if any of you guys are out there looking for character portraits or just art in general, t-shirt designs, whatever, you know, Myth Brigade attracts artists. We've got Ash. We've got another one of our former players, Steve Nedley, that does some art type stuff. So that's pretty cool. So happy that you're here. Mike, let's talk about this, Luscious. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna talk about the Pantene commercial that is that fucking beard. My God, how glorious. Look at it.
I can't leave the house and stretch my legs, so I'm stretching my beard. Yeah, it's been basically consuming all of my time is brushing these beautiful locks. So it's been good. The few holidays have passed. I got to spend some time with the kiddo, which has been fantastic. Honestly, the best part of this entire shit year has really been able to be home with the kid and get to experience those little moments that I'm sure I'll miss down the road. Vacation coming up at the end of the week, which I'm really excited about. I haven't taken a proper vacation in a little while, so that'll be good.
Nice.
Driving out to Texas to see my dad, spend Christmas with him, which is always a blast.
You got to talk with an accent while you're out there. Will you be in character as Nate while you're out there? I think that's what.
100%, absolutely. Yeah. That's actually where my inspiration comes. Is like walking out to the HEB or like going down to the corner. It's just talking to those characters, really getting a feel of the land. So that's the goal.
Outstanding voice acting. What's the update there, man?
It's slow going, but it's still continuing. There's really two sides of the market. There's sort of your home produced stuff, and then there's your agent driven stuff. And right now, that whole second half of the community, as far as I can tell, like agent driven stuff is just sort of dead.
Don't you have a lot? You got a lot of actors, right? Like proper actors, like Seth Rogen or something, because he's not in movies, so he's doing like Dawn commercials or something, right?
Yeah. Voice acting is acting very much so. And so you do see a lot of that sort of like people sort of skirting that line and doing both. There was a McDonald's commercial I heard the other day with Brian Hickson that was like doing the voice. I was like, wow, this is pretty funny how people are just sort of like crossing over. So yeah, but as soon as things open back up and people are opening their studios back up and welcoming in new talent, I think things should take off a bit.
Goddamn right. So I got to get with you on that one project, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't forgotten.
John without the H, playing John with the H. Confusing for many, but we're working on it. What's up? What have you been doing? I know what you've been doing. What have you been doing for the rest of the internet?
Let's see. I have been playing a lot of video games. I will say one nice thing about COVID, it has given me a perfect excuse not to actually hang out with people and play video games. PlayStation 5, Cyberpunk 2077, I'm having a blast with, though a lot of people aren't. And speaking of video games, Extra Life happened since we last played.
You raised
so thank
a bunch
you for
of money, right?
a lot of you out there raised $4,300 this year, which was incredible. It was a long ass day, but it was a good time. Played some Cyberpunk Red on stream, so that was a good time. And yeah, tremendous turnout each year. I don't think we're going to be able to meet what we did last year, and each year we've continued to just kind of blow past that. So
yeah,
now I'm already nervous for next year. I'm like, how the hell am I going to get to $5,000?
Have Mike shave that luscious beard, and
I did that year one, and never doing that again.
Yeah, like luckily it'll be after my wedding this year or next year, I guess it is. But I intentionally did not shave my head just in case it didn't grow back before the wedding somehow. I was too paranoid about it. So I'm like, we'll dye it, we'll do some stuff, but
nice. Well, we're happy you're here and that you have at least some of your hair and it's the normal color that we would expect. It blends in well with your surroundings, which is good. Dobbs, Byron, and the very source of my vampire nightmares. How are you, man?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Enjoying the hell out of running Night's Black Agents here on Myth Brigade.
I know you are.
If you haven't had the chance to kind of sneak in there and check that out, come on down. I know that somewhere in the deep dark recesses there should be some Rules Bites episodes working, maybe on the plate that I have that is completely full with RPGs, and I have to constantly pick up new games. My son Tyler and I just started playing a Song of Ice and Fire miniatures game.
A mini game
by Simon.
Yeah.
Wonderful game. We've been having some fun with that, and of course we just started rewatching Game of Thrones, and so that's been awesome. Just full plate of RPGs and games to get to play and get to experience all these wonderful people on the internet. And I know it takes a big toll out of a lot of people this year in 2020, and it's been great to share some cool times with those people.
Byron and I share a special bond, which is, please don't kill my character and I won't kill your character. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
I make no claims of not killing your character, Dave.
Most people
any agreements we have must be superficial at best.
That's fine. Dobbs, I don't think can die. Hey, speaking of which, I'm going to start some appropriate Western music here. And I'm going to get us all caught up. You guys ready? What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say one last thing before you start.
No, do it.
And that is, you gave a shout out to the guy that gave us a comment. And, I just want to say that I was in your very shoes months ago. And here I am on the stream. So if that's something you're interested in, you should definitely reach out to Jason.
Yeah, keep being awesome. True. We need more players. Len's going to be running like 2 to 3 games a week, she said.
Oh man, I would do it. Honestly, I have a lot of my Discord's been super active, so if we need people, let me know.
Bring them. Can you bring all of your Discordians over like right now? Can they? Can you just snap your fingers and have them join us?
Honestly, I'm kind of mad at them right now because they are not. And a lot of them are not online right now, which means that they have lives. I guess.
You're like,
which
it's
is
Monday.
Weird
it's fucking Monday.
But I did drop the link to the feed in my Discord, so they are going to probably watch on YouTube, I assume.
Okay, well, why don't we do them just right? The Trouble, that's what we're going to call it. Started just a mouse pecker into the Ratchet Ranch, where Nate, John, Dobbs, and Ash cross fence line, hoping to get some medical attention from Dr. Alexander. The welcome wagon came in the form of some strange clockwork scorpions the size of old Trigger. Now, that was Ash's bloodhound growing up. They had all the manners of a badger with a venereal disease and set right to pinching with their jagged claws and striking out with what must have been poison barbs on their tails. Of course, this worked out about as well for them as any other situation like this you could think of. Ash went to work a-shooting. John flung his bewitched cards. Dobbs just started pulling things apart with his bare damned hands. And Nate, well, he made sure old Teddy was out of harm's way. After all, the map from his neck to his nethers was a little easier to tote with him a-walking around. When they finally got to the edge of Alexander's compound, the posse's keen-eyed noticed something amiss. Sentries guarding the walls and the obvious one way in. Now, knowing them, you might think they'd go in guns a-blazing, but they didn't. Instead, they come up with a clever ruse involving Ash being in dire straits with a gunshot wound. Nate's morals was okay on account of she had actually a gunshot wound. A whole lot of fast talk and some awkward ambiguity as to Dobbs' relationship with our favorite gun-toting cancer case, and they was in. Now, they expected to be greeted by the doctor, who simply had to be the direct report for the goons keeping watch. But he wasn't. Miss Ash, if you don't mind, could you give us a single word describing the nature of the bad guy?
Funky.
That's right. He was a robot, she said too. And an ornery
Robot
one.
also works.
Before the guard could explain that they was helping a damsel in distress, that bucket of bolts about cut his head clean off. That's when the shooting began, when the flurry of blades, bullets, and bennies ensued. In the end, our posse emerged triumphant, with the robot in a state of disrepair, and its henchmen, all but a couple, deader than a doornail. So to remind you, you had walked into this sort of cavern, inside of which was built scaffolding, various sort of stairs and platforms leading down to work tables of dubious purpose. And tied to a chair, like old school sort of Western movie with like rope around his center parts, was a person dressed in a leather apron, a white leather apron. He had some headgear on. It was kind of beat up. It looked like he'd been through quite a lot. And as you were walking in, you're starting to kind of untie him and kind of look around or whatever. And that's where we called it quits the last time, because Nate and John, both at the same time, leaned in and said, Dr. Alexander, I presume. So our story finds us here in that same cavern at that same moment. Only moments ago, there was just this complete bloodbath. I'll remind you that there was that sort of steampunk wagon out in the courtyard. There were a couple survivors. One of them had really bad powder burns, such he couldn't see. I think you might have let him, scamper off or whatever. I'm going to check with Dobbs. What's Dobbs doing? Because I know that Nate and John are standing over by Dr. Alexander. What's Dobbs doing? All these tools and things that are going on around.
Well, Dobbs is probably not quite convinced that maybe there ain't some other little villain scampering around in here somewhere. So he's probably going to ask the doctor, how many of them was it, sir? We think we dispatched them all, but we'd like to be sure. We'd like to kill them to a man.
So you lean in, and of course he's there, and I'm going to say at the moment, I don't know if this is consistent, and I'm sure you two will tell us, but for now, he's got a gag, because everybody when they're in prison has to have a gag. So he's got a gag on. It's like a neckerchief around his mouth, and he says to you,
"Oh yeah, I guess that would help, wouldn't it?" And they pull it out there as Dobbs accidentally spits on him.
So you drool your tobacco spit all over his white leather
apron
with his leather apron. I mean, he has white leather all over, and it just kind of beads up and slides down. And he, "Are you friend or foe?" he says, a very thick accent.
Well, that would depend on your demeanor once we release you, sir.
He just nods. "Are you with them?" he says. Kind of nodding his head out toward the entryway.
Nah, I don't think so.
I chuckle. There's not much of them left.
Oh, why have you come here then? If you're not with him.
My arm.
So you cancer cough and kind of press forward between John and John with an H and Dobbs, and you hold up your arm with the bullet hole in it, and at this point, I mean, it was patched up, right? But it's just not right. It's starting to smell a little weird. You seek medical attention, huh?
You're our doctor, I hope. So, yeah.
While this is going on, I'm gonna go behind him and start like untying him.
Okay. You look at this knot, and I mean, it's just something. You know, it's just something. You're gonna need. What's a fantastic? There's not like a rope use skill like in D&D old school, but go ahead and give me an agility check. Like, give me that. Let's see how well you do there.
See how nimble your fingers are.
Yeah. Ooh, nice. All right. So first roll. So you got a D8. So you start with your fast fingers, kind of untying them. It's a sort of a novice knot, right? You start taking it out. Wow, that was loud. But meanwhile, as he senses this going on, he seems to kind of relax a little bit. I am a doctor of sorts, yes. I can help you. He seems to be looking at your wound. I smell the infection.
Oh, that what that is? It's hard to... My cigarettes, smoke and stuff. But,
I owe you, Nate. I thought that was Dobbs.
Dobbs will kind of smell. He's like, well, part of it might be me.
So, yeah, what can you do with this? And I kind of like take my arm and like...
So you untie this guy, and he stands up. And John, he's a good, 7 to 8 inches taller than you. He's bean thin.
Damn.
But he's just so crazy tall, and it just struck you because he's sitting on this low stool, right? You just, with the way that the apron kind of folds over him. Dobbs, you think you could snap him with your fingers? But he's still kind of like you got to look up to him.
How tall is he?
Probably 6'7".
Yeah, he's a good 3 inches taller than Dobbs.
And for people back then, right? It's incredibly.
Yeah, that's probably the first guy Dobbs ever looked up to, other than his father.
Well, you know how that ended.
Yeah. Died.
So he steps toward you, Ash. You notice a couple things. First of all, he's got really bad rope burns at his wrists. He's got some bruising and some cuts, as I mentioned last time. I suppose I owe you this service. But first, you must assure me we are safe. These were enemies, he says.
Did a fair amount of shooting it on our way in, so I think we got them all. But again, if there were any other people running around in here, you'd tell us about it so we can make sure that we are all safe and secure while we handle this issue.
As you're saying that, Nate has this sudden realization. Shit, where's Teddy?
He had come back. Remember, he came back from he was hiding in the rock on the edge of the property or something. And just about the time that you say that, you hear, "Yes, Mr. Nate." And he comes around the corner, and he's holding this kind of odd flask. It's like a thick glass flask with a cork, almost like a big D&D potion, right? And it's got this odd glowing green shit in it. And he's just looking at it, and you can almost see the glow reflecting on his face from kind of over by this workbench. You see the doctor's eyes get about that big. "No, son, you must put that." What do you do?
Oh, aren't you a Cyphersaur? What the hell is that? Teddy.
I don't. What?
Teddy, I'm going to ask you to put that down real slow.
Give me a persuasion
Come
roll.
on over here.
Give me a persuasion roll.
All right.
That's what I said. That dog is singing the gospel over there. Love it.
That
was trigger.
Happy, right?
Wow, shit.
Oh man, that was awful.
Well, but Mr. Nate, I've never seen nothing like this. It's a glowing all by itself, like it's full of fireflies. He starts walking over toward you. "Son, you must put that down. Do not. You must stop him," he says. He's still not fully untied. John is unwrapping the rope as we speak.
Go ahead and clear my throat again real loud. Teddy. And I have a hand on my revolver. Now, Teddy.
Still,
Mr. Nate asked you nicely.
still influenced by the last time that you intimidated the shit out of him, which I'm sure was last session, maybe multiple times. He literally freezes. Miss Ash, you don't have to ask twice. I'm sorry. You look at it. And he puts it down nice and gently on the table where it was.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it kind of starts as he puts it down, right? Like you ever set an egg down on your stove and it just kind of rolls awkwardly and you're like, oh, don't. It does that. But thankfully it stops maybe on a nail or like a knot in the wood table or something. It finally stops. He comes walking over and seeming kind of, happy to see you as well. There's all kinds of things around here, Mr. Nate.
Yeah, I think it's best that you just keep your hands to yourself and stay real close. And as I'm saying this, I'm walking over to the bottle to kind of set it up right and make sure that it's stable, pushed back from the edge.
So you look at the table that he was looking at, right? And you find this sort of holder, and it's got 12 slots in it. It's essentially like for test tubes, but kind of oversized test tubes. And you slide it in next to the others, each of which has a similar liquid. Although you notice that none of them are glowing. They're sitting still, but they're, similar vials. And a dark green liquid in the ones that aren't glowing.
That's kind of comment. I'm like, Teddy, what glowing things have we seen so far that have been good?
Well, it didn't start glowing until I picked it up. Look, these other ones here, as you're kind of standing there right with him now, Nate, these other ones here is dark. I picked it up just to see what was in it. And they start to glow.
Yeah, I kind of put a hand out like let's not touch that again. Say, Doc, you seem to have an idea what these are. You care to explain?
It would be very wise if you step back from them, and I will explain, he says.
Okay. Take a big old step back.
Here, I experiment with a substance known as ghost rock, he says. I make many things. And that is one of them, he says, not offering much more.
What does it do?
Look like any ghost rock I ever seen.
Ghost rock does many things, depending on how it is prepared. It can... I make my things. Steve's got a shush. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted by the chat stream. It does many things depending on how it is prepared. It can power an engine, which now, again, no slurs incurred, but engine, you don't know really outside of railroads. Maybe they're thinking trains.
Why would it power an Indian?
This is not what I mean.
No, if that's what he meant.
I don't think that's right.
He said engine.
Yes, but this is not what I mean.
Well, I'm confused. Why'd you say it if it wasn't what you meant?
Allow me to... on your way in, did you not notice my wagon? He says.
No.
Pretty impractical looking wagon. That thing looks like weighs about 10 tons.
I ain't never seen no horse that'd be able to pull that sort of wagon.
It requires no horses.
Come again?
How's that work?
It is powered internally by the ghost rock. You ignite it by fueling it with ghost rock, much the same as the, the core makes the steam for the train, but much more powerful.
Ash, you sure you want this fellow working on you?
Beginning to have second thoughts.
I think he might be able to make you some sort of ghost rock powered thing to make your arm better.
Like
maybe
the robot?
Stronger. Yeah, like a robot. Maybe he's gonna give you a robot arm.
No.
And the ghost rock heal her arm?
I don't want that.
He literally just shouts over you. That is an abomination. That should never be. It was the fusion of a man and the ghost rock inside a shell, given life.
Yeah, so we're not doing that with my arm. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no.
Speaking of which...
What? Oh, I'm blanking on his name. Was that fella Mr. Robot out there? one of your fusions?
I did not make him. No. He has a name. And I'm trying to find it. Yes, okay, I found it. So, his name is Herschel. He serves Buck Futley.
Just to clarify, I
Forgot
know
about that.
out of character, we've heard that name.
Which?
We know who they are, right? I think Teddy mentioned them before, and so we know who he is, right?
Buck Futley?
Yeah.
Yeah, Buck Futley is like legendary. Buck and Chuck Futley, the Futley brothers. Sorry. So hard to say it without laughing. If I watch John when I say it too, it's just like, all right. Lynn always rolls her eyes and then laughs, and John just loses his shit. But yes, Buck and Chuck Futley are like legendary railroad tycoons and just awful men. Reportedly just, murder and robbery, you name it, but they're known, just to refresh your memory, they're known to basically have an army at their disposal because of their seemingly limitless wealth. And that was the fellow, it was, I don't remember which of the Futleys, we can go back and look later, but Teddy was in the service of one of the Futleys as an errand boy.
Yep,
Maybe.
And that's why we're trying to get to that Black Ridge mine.
All right. Because of the map will lead you right there. So
Absolutely.
So yeah, so he basically says, he was in the service of Chuck and Buck Futley. Buck Futley. Buck Futley.
I knew it was going to happen.
Shut up. I'm going to edit that out. You guys be laughing at nothing.
I knew it was going to happen.
Buck. All right. Anyway, so what do you say to that that epiphany?
So when he mentions Buck Futley or Chuck Futley, whichever one he just mentioned, I think it was Buck. Nate tries not to respond, but he give an impression, but he does look at Teddy to see how Teddy responds to that name.
Good call. So he literally does become almost instantly distant when the name comes up. He seems uncomfortable, but somehow steady by your presence. But he kind of glances up at you, and as you look at him to kind of survey his reaction, his eyes meet yours. Like, oh, that's bad news. That's real bad news. And he shakes his head and looks down.
Well, Dr. Alexander, it seems your enemy is our enemy. We're trying to say pull one over on Buck Futley, and based on the scrap pile out there being the Hershen fellow you explained, seems like we're on the same team here. So maybe if you can help Lady Ash out here and maybe answer a few more questions, we could be in business.
I would never leave a lady hurting. I will see to her wounds. But I am at a dilemma. The Futley brothers are not the ones to have as enemies.
Well, they're already your enemies, so.
Only
I
recently.
think we're long past that.
Only recently, he says, as he kind of steps away now. He's kind of done this whole thing where he's stretching his legs and sort of kind of easing the pain on his wrists, and he comes over to and takes Ash's arm, and he's got like these super duper workman's hands, like worse than Ash has, which is something, right? Like just like these, like, no, we'll choke you to death kind of thing. But he takes your wrist very gently and just kind of starts looking over your wound. We will need to go inside. We need a more clean place.
And speaking of clean, you're a little something going on with your hands there. Just a bit.
he looks back at them, and it's just like a horror show of kind of calluses and shit. But yeah, so who goes? Did you all go inside? Do you split up? How does that work? Do you just send him in with Ash?
I don't know that Nate would. I think that Nate would go in. I don't know that he would take a complete stranger, whether he seems good or not, to go with Ash I think Nate would likely go with her.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Same.
I kind of like, we're all kind of trading glances as far as like how we're gonna do this, and I offer like I'll go stand at the door and just make sure nobody's running up on us or we're getting pinched here. But I'll just kind of stay at the door. Hopefully you're shot, but
Did we leave 2 guys alive outside? Just as a.
one was alive and we let run away.
We let
But,
him.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we let him live.
he
One's
doesn't have
blind.
a horse. There's giant robot scorpions. Not too concerned about him notifying
Fine.
anybody.
What a dick. Okay.
He's free.
Yeah. So when the doctor says he's going to go inside, Nate goes, "Great, I could use a drink."
I guess Dobbs will kind of wait at the door with John.
Okay.
Yeah, now I regret my decision.
Trying to-
As soon as Nate says a drink.
Yeah, but knowing
Like,
that I'm not a
you
drinker,
know.
like that was the cue to you guys to know that I'm not going in there.
Good point.
He looks over his shoulder, the
I still
doctor,
want him.
over his giant, like almost like the cloning people in Star Wars tall kind of dude. Like, he looks over his shoulder at you and says, I know that would get you, John. He says, are you
Trying not to
thirsty?
correct you.
Are you thirsty as well? Yeah, don't. Because I don't know.
It's been a long night, friend.
Parched, yeah.
So he sort of nods, and you basically you kind of wait by this sort of mouth of a door, and again there's a scaffolding with these stairways that go down. You're about halfway down is where he was tied up. So he walks with Nate and Ash the rest of the way down. You'll notice that Nate, that he kind of helps Ash along, almost gentlemanly, right, and kind of observing her as she walks clinically, not chauvinistically or whatever. You make your way down to another door there at the base of this cavern, which seems to lead further into this sort of mountain, this giant sort of stone labyrinth that he's got. And so he kind of opens this door, and you walk in. It's a very short series of hallways, and it smells very strongly of like oils and things that he's probably put on metal to keep it from kind of suffering from the elements. But anyway, you walk into this area where he sort of has a bed, and various sort of old school little tincture jars and little glass containers of God fucking knows what, and really primitive looking surgical instruments. The missus will please disrobe and lay down. I will look away for your convenience. And he turns away. You need to leave, he says to Nate.
Hold on there. Nate's a good friend of mine. Make sure he sticks around so that nothing untoward happens here.
Oh,
that's all
you are her husband, he says. Fine. He crosses his arms.
Yeah. Nate doesn't actually say anything. He just kind of lets that moment pass.
Right.
And the doctor draws his conclusion, and we continue.
Yeah. So
I do look at Nate, and I'm like, turn around.
I want to make sure nothing unscrupulous happens in this situation. So I'm just kidding. Yeah, he turns around.
So you turn around and
stay in the room, but turn around. I mean, you don't want to see that anyway.
So Nate, as you turn around, you find a couple reflective surfaces that not they give you like a whoa kind of view, but more like they give you a sense of movement and what's going on. And so you stabilize there and watch it out of the corner of your eye. So you could make necessary perception rolls or whatever. But meanwhile, you take your shirt off and whatnot, and he starts to look at your arm. It is pretty bad. I mean, it was patched up all right. And it's starting to scab, but there's some kind of pus and inflammation going on there. I said we wouldn't have pus in this campaign. There's inflammation around there. So he immediately goes to work with iodine and all kinds of things that burn like hell. So you're gonna need, I think, to make yourself a spirit roll and see if you can hold it together. You're gonna be trying to not lose your shit over the pain of this wound. What do we roll?
Not good.
It's just
Two.
So you remember you have 3 bennies. So if you just want to be that, or you want to lose your stuff in front of Nate, it's up to you. Totally up to you.
I'm just gonna grit my teeth and kind of bear it. I don't want to burn a Benny on it.
Okay. So what's funny? What's funny is how perception is relative. So in Ash's head, she is gritting her teeth and bearing it. But Nate, you hear the whimpering behind you, and it hits you at the base of your spine, at the shoot somebody in the face kind of spot. He's hurting her really bad. What do? You just let it go? Or?
Yeah. No. So he respects her by not turning around, kind of watching the shadows and the blurry colors that are on the reflective surfaces. But in a comforting but stern way, he just, Ash, you all right?
Hey, Teddy, can you got a cigarette for me? I can't. Doctor's got shit. Give me a cigarette.
see, you kind of you know more or less where her shirt's laying, so you do one of those blind man grabs, okay. and you do succeed in lighting her a cigarette. This makes it all better. It centers it all, and it's one of those cigarettes. And the key thing is, Ash, he doesn't know the difference, the ones that you keep for different reasons. So very soon, things are fine. Nate, Ash takes a pull of this cigarette, and then the doc is just starting to cut some of this ugly flesh away and starting to really swab it down and whatever. I mean, the bullet was clean through, but he's cleaning up the mess. She's just laughing like you're tickling a kid. You turn around and you're unable to not turn around, and you kind of like, you can avoid the naughty bits, but this is unbelievable to you as she smokes her Ghost Rock cigarette.
You wouldn't even believe it. I shot my damn self. I did this to myself.
He's nodding. You are depressed, he says.
Oh no, it was an accident. I'm usually a real good shot, but
this was a
not
very
that
bad
day.
This was a very bad shot. I smell.
Don't need to be rude about it.
I smelled the Ghost Rock in your cigarette, he says, nonchalantly.
Yeah. Light bulb goes on with Nate. Like suddenly he's like, oh shit.
He looks over his shoulder. Do you see? You kind of.
Yeah, it just kind of like to myself, and just like this realization of like she was hurting, now she's not hurting. Oh, what's I done?
So the camera pans suddenly at that moment, and you guys are sort of at the mouth of this cave, back up at sort of ground level, watching the horizon. There's still dead bodies laying around. At this point, a couple buzzards have flown in, and they're like, "Hey, bro, meet." Teddy's there with you guys. Mr. Dobbs, you notice that he stands on the other side of John from you, so as not to get spit on.
Yes, Teddy.
I just want to say it. I admire you for all the fighting that you can do. Would you teach me how to fight with a knife sometime?
I'm sure I could teach you a few things. You think you could handle it? Dobbs will pull. He's got a giant Bowie knife on his, on a little sheath right on his chest. He pulls it out. It's probably 14 inches long. he's like, you think you could handle this? And he just kind of throws it in the dirt right by Teddy's feet.
Well, I mean, when you put it like that, hell yeah, I think I can. As long as you don't spit on me all the time.
Pick it up.
I chuckled myself and just light a cigar.
He reaches down and pulled his knife out of the dirt, and he's kind of looking at it. It's big for him, because Dobbs.
I just take 2 steps over, and I snatch the knife out of his hand.
So you take 1 step over. He drops it and throws his hands up like, I'm sorry. I don't want to start. He's completely paranoid.
I was just gonna say, a knife doesn't necessarily make you a badass.
Give me a perception roll, please, John. Only John.
Only John?
Only John with an H.
Oh, that's a solid roll. I like it.
Ooh.
Way to start out.
Oh, yeah. The wild die saves John with a 4, right? So there's you've traveled a lot, right? There's a black dot on the sort of horizon, but about, say, 6 inches up from the actual horizon line. It's a black dot. About the size of, say, thanks for the follow, Trickster. It's about the size of like a pea, maybe, like a green pea or something.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. You know, it seems out of place.
Okay. Yeah, it's above the horizon. I'm gonna just keep watching it, and after a few seconds, if I think even questioning it getting bigger, I'm gonna pull a ace out of my deck and hold it up and just kind of compare it to like the number on top or the letter on top and just see if it's actually getting bigger or not.
Dude, that is badass. Yeah, so you
That is
flick.
sexy.
Pretty clever.
Yeah, no, that is so good. You just like flick the card out, and that's where the camera kind of pans out with a comparison. It's just a little bit bigger than the A, and then we switch back to Ash, who has finished her cigarette and is cackling and talking about Dobbs and his stupid horse, and she's just on it about the situation. And the doctor has in fact patched her up, but honestly, despite what you've discovered, and you guys worked that out as characters, but she'd have been in a lot of pain because he trimmed away some flesh. It was a little necrotic. He poured some shit into the hole. He's patched her up, and he's got the proper dressing on either side. I will leave the two of you to have your moments. I'm going to get a drink for us, he says. And he doesn't have any gloves on, obviously. And the funny thing is, as he's walking away, Ash, it just is like you hone in. He never washed his hands. Oh no! He leaves the room.
Yeah, as he walks by, Nate sort of like puts his hands back a little bit and kind of makes himself scarce against the wall. Like, thank you, doctor. Thank you. Trying to avoid talking to him or touching him rather, and then goes over to check with Ash. You doing all right?
Yeah, I imagine she's like pulling on her like duster at this point, and she's like, yeah, I mean, I can't feel nothing in my arm, but still there.
And I imagine there's like bandages and like bits of flesh and shit just kind of like piled up in like a little discard pile, and so Nate sort of tries to stand between Ash and the gross and just
Between Ash and the gross.
By the looks of it, that's gonna hurt mighty big in the morning. You may want to take it easy.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. I've probably had worse in my day. Don't you worry about it. It's fine. Just totally glassy eyed.
Son of a bitch. Yep. Yeah. Nate just kind of smiles. And, okay, you're tough. You got it.
Yeah, toughest in the whole West. Where's that drink at?
So you get dressed, and it's not, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. The doc comes back, and he's got a fantastic bottle of whiskey. And he kind of walks in like doctor style, right? He opens the door, and he's still got his crazy white leather apron thing on. I believe I owe you for saving my life. And he holds up this bottle of fantastic whiskey. I have asked my servants to make us a meal so that we may dine together. It is the custom where I am from.
There's other people around here? Other servants? People?
No. He says, he doesn't answer. Beyond that, he just, no. And he walks out. Come.
Well, it'd be rude to turn down the doctor's offer. Come on, Ash. Get up on your feet.
She like rolls off the
cigarettes.
Yeah, he's not touching her, but he's ready to sort of help stabilize if she's a little unsure on her feet, and he's just trying to be a gentleman.
Yeah. So you make your way out into this sort of mazework of hallways, and the one thing you notice is that you sort of coming out of the door, like to the right is what you know. It's a long hall. There's a couple of little doorways that were open, mostly probably storage type things, but there's a to the left that you don't know. The doc went back to the right with the bottle, and you can even see him still walking. He's got a tray of glasses and a bottle in his hand. He makes his way, starts going up the stairs. He turns and looks back expectantly, waits for you to join. Do you catch up?
So the door outside is also to the right, with John on the other side of the door.
It's essentially, that would essentially be so. And again, you know, I'm trying not to map everything and let your brains work, but like it's at the end of this long hallway. There's sort of a stair that leads up and then back to the kind of upstairs.
Got you. We came down the stairs.
You did. Absolutely.
Got
You came
it,
down
yeah.
the stairs, straight hallway, a bunch of stuff going on. Probably a ping pong table, foosball.
Yeah.
Hot
Nate
tub.
makes note of that there is something down there. He doesn't stare down there and try to like gather anything, but he's really more concerned about getting Ash out. And so he sort of like steps to the corner and just after you and sort of guides her to follow. So it's sort of the doctor at the stairs, Ash sort of stumbling down the hallway, and Nate's behind her.
Yeah, so you guys kind of come walking up. But as they're on the stairs, John, in casual conversations, so Dobbs and Teddy are talking knives, and Teddy's, you can tell he's trying to angle with Dobbs and try to find a way to not get spat upon. But as much as anything, it's almost like he generally respects Dobbs' capabilities. So they're locked in their sort of combat talk. Mostly Dobbs talking about how he could cut Teddy's head off, sort of thing. You know, but you hold your ace up. Give me a smarts roll. See how your math is.
Come on.
Did you fail?
D12.
He's a gambler. He's a card
Jesus.
player. You should have strong math.
Yeah.
Okay, well, a wild die saves you. Yeah, you're just like, yeah, it's bigger. And you do it almost like you flick it up, and it's almost like you don't allow your face to react to it. You just look and pull your card back down, gaining no attention from anyone else. What do you do with that?
I can probably tell, since it's so far off on the horizon, that it's bigger than one of those buzzards we saw.
Yeah, the trouble is there's no context at this time.
Right.
But yeah, pretty much. You would maybe, or maybe it's just like not moving very fast.
Okay. I just kind of like turn my head around, still kind of keeping an eye on it, but like pretty loudly, "Hey Doc, you got those flying things coming here? There's something in the sky, and it's getting closer."
So you shout that, not exactly realizing that the doc is even. You kind of shout back, "Dobbs, this catches your attention. Teddy is in the midst of. You basically taught him an attack, so I'm gonna give him literally. If you do this 2 more times, I'm gonna give him another die in fighting, so he doesn't die because he's a cool NPC. Hang on, let me make my note.
I'll let him hold on to the knife.
It's too heavy.
It's more of a sword for him.
No, but so this something catches John's off, man. He's like doing some weird shit with cards out of the corner of your eye, but then he's calling out for the doc, and the doc is downstairs, best you know.
Yeah. I'm like, what you talk about, John?
I just kind of, it's always kind of hard to point things on the horizon, but point over there and just kind of give a little bit of a direction, up from there to the right. See that dot out there? It's getting bigger. And if I'm thinking correctly, that means it's getting closer.
Give me a smarts roll, Dobbs.
Yeah, this is the most hilarious thing that's ever happened right here.
This is good. Watch him murder it. Watch his roll explode like 20.
Boom! Look
Nice.
at that.
Yeah, 1d. Okay, so you exploded. That's good.
Yeah, because I have a D4. So,
So you know what's crazy, Dobbs? There was this time when you were working out on a farm where you swore you saw this weird thing on the horizon, like this thing moving through the sky. It wasn't a bird. It wasn't flapping. It was just. It's like that. It's just this weird dot on the horizon at about that high off the horizon. It's not moving. If it is, maybe it's getting bigger. You don't know. It's certainly not flying toward you at great pace.
what the hell is it?
Dobbs, why don't you stay here with Teddy? I'm gonna go notify the others. Hopefully the doc's got a explanation for whatever this is, but stay alert. And I'm gonna quickly
All right.
jog down to where I last saw them.
There were sentries on the walls, right?
Yeah, there were.
I'm gonna look around. Maybe one of them's got like some sort of like lens or something like that. Maybe he's got like one of those.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
You know what I mean? Possibly.
Good call.
We wouldn't have really gave a crap about it when we were getting in here, but maybe as a sentry, you got some sort of looking glass or something like that.
Yeah.
With all this fancy equipment around here.
Mr. Dobbs, where you going? You go running out there. He's running right there behind you.
He's like, come on, Teddy. We're gonna see if we can find some way to get a better view with this thing.
What thing? He says, because he was playing with the knife. He has no fucking
Well,
idea.
I don't know. That's why we got to get a better view.
All right, then. He's just running
Look,
behind
check
you.
that guy over there. See if he's got one of them. You ever see them looking glass things? Like makes far away to get closer.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Check him. Check him.
Duh. It's the Duh Brothers kind of thing going on. So you start checking bodies. Yeah. So I'm going to say your first couple attempts turn up nothing. So in a bit, you are going to find something, in fact. But you're sort of searching bodies. You find the usual assortment of bullets. So I'm going to say you find in total about 22 bullets that you can use with your revolver at least. You find canteens. You find a couple of flasks. Let's say 3 of 3 bodies have flasks with some weird... It has like a mixture of whiskey smell and bad tooth smell on there. You know, because villains all have bad tooth smell. That's up to you as to whether or not you enjoy that. So you're searching. You kind of, John, you sort of turning, you go running back. They head off toward search and body time. And just about the time that you reach the top of the stairs, these sort of, kind of square sort of, series of stairs, you can see down toward the bottom, they're coming up. The doctor's in the front. He looks over his shoulder. This is right about the time he's looking back to them for them to come meet up.
Got it. So I kind of lean over, I guess, like a railing or banister or whatever it is, and I'm just like, Doc, there's something out on the horizon coming towards us. We saw some of your, I presume they're your buzzards. I don't think it's one of them. It's coming close. Do you know anything about that, or is that something to be concerned about?
He pauses for a second. He sort of processes what you say. What do you mean, buzzard? He says. They are...
Flying robots?
What? Robots?
Metal bird. I shot a bird. It was metal. I don't know. I killed it.
I can just picture her like... just totally crazy.
They're like your scorpions, but they're birds.
So he... No. They are flying about the property. There are many. They help me see the things going on. He's shouting upward as he's kind of coming up the stairs. And shortly enough that you're all together. And of course Ash comes up. I'll leave it up to you.
I just kind of glance there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Can you use those birds to see what's coming at us? Because something's coming towards us. And it's flying.
Oh, he says. He's got a bottle of liquor and a tray of glasses.
Here, I'll help you with that. I grab the bottle of liquor.
You take the bottle of liquor and the tray of glasses. I'm just going to say, kind of assume Nate kind of just breezes past him and grabs those to move on. Yes, I can help, he says.
Perfect.
He stops and are we allies? He says, looking at you, John.
Well, of course we are, and I kind of slap him on the back of the, back.
You're really uncomfortable with how hard he's staring at you. Like, you slap him on the back, and he doesn't react to it at all. He's just straight up, like, staring hard into your eyes.
I kind of glance over at Ash, see her face. I'm like, what y'all been doing?
The doctor took real good care of Ash. She's going to be just fine.
Brand new arm, basically. It's perfect.
It's in a sling.
It's all bandaged up.
He grabs you by your shoulders and turns you back to him. And as he does so, you can sort of see his wrist here. And there's these weird little pistons and things moving in there. There's like this sort of open area where you would expect, sort of almost, again, homage to Star Wars, but way cooler. Way more steampunk. There's like juice and stuff shooting out of there. Gears, copper gears and stuff. Stop it, Mike. So, anyway,
my hand instinctively goes down to my revolver at that point. Doesn't unlatch it or anything like that.
I asked you if we are allies.
And I assure you, Doctor, we are. Especially at the moment, because we've got a bigger problem headed our way, I feel like.
Persuade me, John, without an H.
Wild dice
Whoa,
again.
fucking wild dice tonight, yeah. This is a bad land to not have friends. We are friends. I will help. And he literally lets your shoulders go, and he turns and goes walking toward this sort of table that's got all these bizarre sort of apparatus. It's like a weird mixture of wood cabinetry with brass parts and some glass gauges and whatever. If you're interested, you can follow him. But he heads over there like, all right, I'm on a mission.
I'm gonna give Dobbs and Tay the heads up. They're looking out through the bodies for a looking glass. If you guys just want, like, come on, meet us out there once you're done here. I just kind of like look to Nate and Ash, and then more so back to Nate.
Yeah, Nate sort of stays with Ash, and he's looking on the horizon, trying to spot whatever it is that you're talking about. You go with the doctor. I'll take care of Ash. And he just kind of doesn't look at you. He's just kind of looking.
Cool. I'll follow with the doc then.
Yeah, I think Ash at this point is just like, I don't understand why everybody's fussing over me so much. I'm right as rain.
Yeah, you're fine.
And you said there's a bird?
Yeah, and you kind of need a sandwich right now. You're just like, fuck, where's my...
Anybody got a ration or two to throw my way?
So what do you do, Ash? Where do you hang? So you've got the doctor kind of going off over here. You got Dobbs and Teddy picking through the corpses.
I think she's realizing in this very moment as she walks towards where Teddy and Dobbs are, because I think she wants to like go out. She's like, oh, they said there's something coming. Like, even her addled brain is like, I want to go look at it. So I think she's trying to like kind of fumble with her like belt, because I'm assuming that she's basically lost the use of her arm for the time being.
For the most part, yeah.
I guess I can't use a rifle. So that's going to be bad for her.
I'm going to
but
say,
yeah,
though, so Len, I will say, as hardcore as Ash is, you do what you want. I'll tell you what that's like for you, but she's hardcore. So she'd be like, fuck it, like, whatever. So you're not, he basically patched a hole that was blown through. It's very sore. I'll leave it at that. You decide.
Yeah, she's kind of just fumbling around trying to figure out her guns and bullet situation and going off to join Dobbs.
So off she goes. Nate, what are you doing?
So I was sort of planning on staying with her. I'm still trying to work out what it is that John was talking about. Maybe that's a dot he's talking about. Maybe that's dust in the wind. I'm not really sure. But when I notice that Ash is off to kind of do her own thing, I give a sharp whistle to Dobbs. Say, Dobbs, heads up. Ash is on her way over. I know he's going to take care of her. That way it sort of frees me up.
All right. Well, Teddy, did you find anything?
He's literally holding up like a limp guy's arm, right? He's like, all right, and he lets the arm go, and it's just like to the ground. No, sir. Hey, this one had several dollars, he says, like really excited.
Eddie, we ain't looking for money.
No, take the money. Hey, anybody seen that bird that John was talking about?
Give me a perception roll, please, at -2, Ash, and let's see if you see it. Watch her kill it. I can't wait.
Is it notice, right?
It is notice. I'm sorry. Yeah, I keep saying.
Well, there's Yep.
It's notice. Yeah, there's persuasion, and there's your notice.
So I have my regular +2 on this. I'll just take it off.
Damn. Okay, so you
so it's
3. 1d8 play. Okay, so you're walking along and you do see a bird, and you're like, whew, it flies past from behind some of the wagons, and you're just, oh, okay, I see what's going on. You kind of sort of start walking off that direction. Oh, there, I see the bird you're talking about.
Bird.
Why is everybody freaking out about this damn bird? It's just like so out of it.
Yeah, Nate finally, like, he just kind of stops. Like, what is he talking about? And he just looks. like as hard as he can, he looks.
show me again. Hard looking. Like,
Just like a...
Yeah. All right.
Giving it his all. Where's
amazing.
this damn bird?
Yeah. So give me that persuasion notice roll, please. I'm going to give you +1 for the hard looking. So
I also have a +2
you
for
got it.
alertness.
He turns down his radio.
Yes. So I should get. I don't know that it actually rolled into that though, but I get a +2 for alertness, and then the +1 for the hard looking.
when the wild die hit 6. So I don't know about your formula, but that's fine. So you hard look, and there's that drop, and the camera zooms in, and yeah, man, there's this sort of black-eyed pea thing at this point, right? Just in the distance.
Yep. And now that Nate's seeing it, he's just, the hell is that?
That's not nearly as cool as what you'd hoped it would be, though, if you're being honest.
Right.
So.
Right, yeah, because I see John, and John's worked up, and he's usually he's Mr., game face, Mr. Chill, and I'm like, why? What is it about this thing that's got him so worked up? So now Nate's trying to put it together and see what's going on.
So you're thinking about that. Meanwhile, nobody went with the doctor. The doctor's off doing his own thing.
I went with him.
You did, John. Okay, yeah. John. So he walks up, and in typical steampunk fashion, starts turning way too many dials, flips a couple of levers, and there's this little round piece of glass, right? And this green light behind it starts to flicker. And it's almost like those weird, like in the old, like the really expensive saloons where they got the moving pictures where you can pull the crank and see the pictures. But it's no shit. The landscape. And it's like a bird flying. This will be the closest one. Eh?
I'm just like dumbstruck. Like, what is happening right now?
He smiles at you. This is my specialty as doctor. I am not a medical doctor, he says.
I'm glad that
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, Nate would have been like, what?
I'll come back around to that one. But you're a magic doctor?
Magic? No.
Because I just think this is magic at this point.
Yeah. No. He says, again, not elaborating whatsoever. Just no. Look, he points. There is, in fact, a black-eyed pea-sized dot on the... This is what you were worried about.
Can you tell what it is? It's getting closer, right? Like, what could be flying like that?
I do not know, he says, kind of glancing back at you with his sweet white leather, creaking as he turns.
Herschend couldn't fly like that, could he? I just don't want to fight any more Herschends.
No. Not elaborating one bit.
A man of few words, I love it.
Herschel do not fly. You kill Herschel, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Well deserved, he mutters as he... So, Dobbs, you get all the way out by the gate, by the original dude who got his neck slit, who was sort of a forward observer. And sure as shit, tucked into his long coat is kind of a shitty but still functional spyglass.
I'll immediately pull it out and try to slide it out and look.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a notice roll with +1.
All right. So will let me see, I got that one edge that is +2 to discover ambushes or similar events. I don't think that's necessarily
no. Let's use that. That's fine.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
So +2. I don't think this is going to put it in there, but you said a notice roll, right?
Yep.
All right. So
+2 because of that. So that would have been 5 + 1.
5 + 1, so 6.
Okay. So just picture, right, Dobbs, he has this thing in his hand, and he sort of and looks, and there is a 3 times the size black IP thing floating toward you on the horizon. The one thing the one thing that you do notice is that there's this there's a sort of fluttering thing going on there. It's like this it's hard to tell exactly what it is, but the image is there's that sort of thing going on. I can't describe it beyond that because like that's visually how you get it. Like there's the image, and then there's like some shit moving in part of the image that causes that sort of fluttering effect.
Yeah, so we probably had cameras, right? There's probably cameras in existence.
There are, for sure.
1800. Real big ones. You know, I might have...
With the fucking flash that like leaves you with like soot on your face kind of thing.
It's blurry like a photograph.
He shouts
I don't know what it is.
I just sprayed shit on my glasses.
Yeah, like Nate is like staring at the horizon, trying to get his intelligent brain to make sense of what it is. Dobbs is running around like a lunatic, and he just stares at it and then yells, "It's blurry like a photograph." And that just sort of like wakes Nate up.
It's like a Def Leppard song or something. You know, yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
All right.
Well, I don't know. It's like it's like one of them there. You know how when you're looking at the hot dirt in the middle of the desert?
About halfway through his sentence, Nate gives up listening to him. He's just like, ugh. And he just starts marching towards Dobbs to just go take a look for himself.
What are you boys yelling about? It was a bird. Like what? I guess I follow after Nate to try and figure out what is happening.
So all this is happening, right? All you guys are kind of moving toward Dobbs, and he's got this spyglass, and Teddy's there, and he's got his hand on Dobbs' shoulder, like, man, that a boy, like you found one kind of thing. And Dobbs is like, ah. Meanwhile, John, birds fly fast. The thing that's a little disturbing is that you've got this thing that's sort of getting larger. It's still hard to tell what it is because, I mean, obviously it's not a high quality camera. It's not a GoPro attached to this thing, right? Really bad green image, staticky, weird steampunk thing. The trouble is that along the bottom, like right at the horizon, the land line, there's a lot of shit going on down there. There's movement. Kind of, something's moving toward you. Something like a line of somethings. And it's not far off, really.
So, Doc, I got 2 questions for you. You ever see anything like this? And can you tell how long it's going to take for this to get here?
He grabs you by your lapels and brings you to his face. Buck. Futley, he says, in his accent.
Well, how in the hell does he know we're here?
The men that came here were from him. I did not say they were the only ones. They were here to collect a shipment. A very important shipment. You have no time.
Of Ghost Rock?
No.
I like visibly contain myself of I'm not going to outburst to this guy that's helping us.
You know how hard it is as a GM to not monologue for 5 minutes and tell you all the reasons what was going on? Just no.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
What was the shipment of?
It was the finger of Nicodemus, he says. I can't say it with a straight face. I write this shit, but then I can't say it out loud. It was the finger of Nicodemus.
Okay. We're going to get to that in a second. Do you have a way out of here?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get out of here.
So there's this
and
thing
let's
that's
get the
happening.
others.
There's this thing that's happening in his head. You can see it. It's like a Mark Zuckerberg level of like sort of, you know, thought.
Robot? Got it.
There is one safe way.
And what would that be?
Below.
No.
You got like a mine shaft we're gonna hide in? I don't want to be stuck down a mine shaft that we can't get out of.
No, and he with a flourish, he's like, no. He walks away from the controls and starts walking toward the workshop.
This son of a bitch. Okay.
Camera pans back. So Dobbs, you're calling out. Your friends are not responding. Nate shows up. Like Nate's kind of running up, right? You've got your spyglass. You're very proud of your spyglass. That was a great thought, right? Like what do you do?
I was like, look, and I shoved the spyglass in his hand. I was like, but don't you run off with that. I found that first square.
Yeah. So like, as I'm sort of like just like marching up there, he's still jabbering, right? He's trying to explain it. The moving pictures and the whole big thing and the button. And then one time Murph took my phone, and I just like hand out. I take it and just.
Give me that. Go ahead and give me that notice roll +1. And while you're doing that, so Ash, right at this moment, it's like the only thing that remains from that Ghost Rock cigarette is your urgent need for a sandwich. You're wow, nice, Nate. Okay. Nate, you pull the spyglass up, but as you get it close enough to your eye that as you're pulling it up, you kind of pass something that stops you before you get to the horizon. And it's the latter part that I mentioned. The horizon itself. If you look that way, there's not a whole lot going on. There's, your kind of typical sort of kind of diffuse mountains and whatever. But if you look right ahead, there's movement. And it's quite a lot of it. It's a disturbing amount of it. And now that you're this close and you're using some sort of, gear, you'd be damned if it doesn't look like a great big ant. It's what it looks like. Walking toward you.
So we saw the scorpion sort of on the horizon and causing the dust clouds. They were like, is this drawing those kind of vibes, or is this?
It looks more like it looks more like if that were happening from somewhat of a distance away.
Right. But like it's same similar thing where it's like there's something out there causing some dust cloud, and it looks like it's coming our way.
For sure.
Oh, Dobbs, we gotta go. He sort of like hands the spyglass, and he does like a visual check for Dobbs is right here looking for Teddy.
Teddy takes the spyglass like, huh?
And then I'm looking to spot Ash to see if she hasn't wandered off into the back of a wagon somewhere.
Are we like up on like a little like wall or like sentinel type station or whatever?
No, you at this point are right at the gates, like where the doors open, like right where the doors sprawl, and you're just kind of looking, even with the horizon.
All right. Nice. I was like, if Nate says it's time to go, it's time to go. Teddy, get it going.
He's got the spyglass in his hand.
Bring it with you.
I get about 10 paces from the doors, and I stop and I turn, and I sort of look at the doors real quick. Do they look like they can be closed?
Yeah. It's going to take you and Dobbs, but you can both do it.
Teddy, you take Ash and you get down with the doctor. Dobbs, with me. We got to close these doors.
All right, let's do it.
So you go and you pull those doors shut nice and there's like almost a medieval kind of a bar system basically that you can kind of put in place to keep your basic ruffians out. So you go through that process, kind of flexing the muscles and get it nice and shut. This dust kind of kicking up from the dry soil. Teddy's hauling ass. Ash, he's running toward you. He's got this spyglass in his hand. He's like a football player. Mr. Dobbs says we got to go. Come on. It's like almost slow motion as he runs past you. What are you doing?
I mean, I assume that I was kind of like, ushered back into the structure. So I guess I just kind of like roll my eyes and start to follow Teddy, and I'm like, I still don't understand why everyone's fussing about a damn bird. He's just still like so out of it. She's like, oh,
nice.
Whatever.
So you move into that sort of down one flight of stairs, right, and the sort of loose wooden scaffolding almost stairs, where the doctor is there with his white leather apparatus on, and Teddy kind of stands. You guys have shut the doors and are running back. John, you see Ash and Teddy kind of moving your direction, looking like there's a great sense of urgency. What do you do as they arrive?
I'm just focused. I'm yelling, Futley brothers are coming. We got to get inside. We're going down apparently, but we need to get going because they're coming quick.
Teddy,
Wait, why do we gotta go down? Didn't that doc have a wagon? That thing? The wagon thing?
I don't know. He said the only way out here is going down. Right now, I got nothing else to trust.
Well, we got horses up on the ridge.
You see what's coming after us?
No?
It's a fucking bird.
Everybody's fussing about damn birds. You sound like Dobbs.
I'm just kind of taken aback. Am I sounding like Dobbs?
About the damn geese.
And I think, Ash, as you glance back, you see Dobbs running, and he's got wide eyes like you've not seen since he saw that last goose. And that one was cooked. He's big Dobbs running, right? Running toward the scaffold. You guys all pushing into this sort of mesa where there's only one way in. So that's cool, you think? Someone thinks, I hope. What do you guys do? So I'm gonna assume there's a couple seconds that pass, and you all sort of gather on this scaffold, and the doctor is there. He seems very nervous. They tried to kill me once.
Everybody, doctors confirm Futley brothers look like they're coming with an army. The only way out, so he says, is to go down. I mean, I don't have a better idea right now, but
Nate
what are we
looks
doing?
like diffused for a second because he's ready to go, and he comes in and he's pumped, and he's like, John, we got, and like as he's getting ready to unload his information on John is just like, yeah, there's an army of these things coming. They're coming straight for us. How do you? All right.
I'll tell you later. It was magic, I think. He says it's not, but it's got to be. But I turn to the doc. Can you tell us more about how to get out of here by going down?
Yes.
We're not getting trapped in here.
I can take you, he says. Do you swim? He says. Glancing at each of you. Teddy nods. Yeah, I used to like to swim as a kid. He's obviously super panicked.
Nate nods, but he looks over at Dobbs like, I don't know.
Of course I can fucking swim.
Good. Come with me. And so he literally just, with his leather.
How do you think I broke away from the chain gang?
That leather sound, as he turns around and just fucking walks away from you with he's probably got a clipboard because docs have that sometimes. So he starts down the scaffolding. And now glancing over your shoulder, just picture the mouth of this cave. And now this sort of, this black-eyed pea-sized thing is now large enough that you can tell. Now, you wouldn't know what this was, but it's a blimp. Just a cruising in like an airship. And you obviously, now that you're lower, you can't see what's going on the ground. But this is obviously concerning, and you just sort of, that's what fades in as you move down. So he takes you down past, Mike, or Nate, actually, past the area where you went into the exam room, right? And then the hallway continues, and you almost see what looks like it could be an old school common room, like just sort of like a place where you might want to relax. And
actually,
you grab it.
Before we get to that point, like as we're getting off the scaffolding, I yell at Doc, is there anything, do you have any blasting powder or anything that we can at least make this difficult for them to get down here? Take the scaffolding out?
Yeah, I was going to say, when we're in the workshop, is there any way that Ash could steal any of those
all the
glowy ghost rock?
Yes,
bombs?
I think there is. I think let's have some stealth if you want to break off and grab some glowy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
Wow.
What did you just do? You broke all the dice ever. So okay, fine. So I picture this almost like Johnny Depp's like Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of like you just nonchalantly go and just pluck some stuff. What do you want? You grab the rack and as you're walking, just tuck some stuff into a bag that you pick up also. So you're very rare.
I think that's pretty much her prerogative, where everyone else is freaking out and she's actually, I think she's cool as a cucumber right now. She doesn't really know what's going on. She heard the Futley brothers. She thinks I mean, there's something about a bird, an army now. I don't know. She just kind of like
Yep.
just starts putting
And you
things.
do. So you grab a bag. That's a nice, fairly nice leather bag. You're like, oh, that's nice. I'll take this. And then you're like, ooh, this fits. Ooh, oh, toot, toot, toot. So I'll tell you what you get, but you go on a theft parade. For the stream, look at those numbers. And then I'll explain later, like probably the whole building is inside the bag when she's done. But you make your way around. So consequently, Nate, as you're sort of looking around trying to figure stuff out, Ash is not there.
Yep. So Ash is like, or Nate's constantly got this sort of like Mother Goose head count thing going. Not so much John and not so much Dobbs, but right now Ash very much and Teddy. And so I see the bull and the wizard go running down the hall, and I see Teddy's right there, and I start, Ash, you down there?
So Ash,
What?
Yeah, I was gonna say you sort of hear this kind of like that last pluck, and you're like, oh, I want that thing.
Yeah, finishes zipping or like tying the bag closed, buttoning it, however it closes, and it's just like, all right, I'm coming. Hang on, hold your horses.
I don't mean to
Spills
rush
one
you,
more.
Ash, but we really gotta go. Come on.
I know, I'm just getting supplies, you know. It's gonna be a long road, apparently. I don't know. We're going into the mines. I'll just follow you.
So the dock basically, as I said, there's the hallway that probably leads kind of forward into like maybe a living quarters that are built into this mesa, and like Airwolf chamber, right? Think 80s Airwolf, like this chamber that exists for no reason but for this. There's this sort of a sort of turn seal, like a wheel, where you would unlock this big sort of bulkhead, and he moves over to it. I'll need your strength. Quickly, they come.
Dobbs, you're up.
That's kind of what we was getting at there, sir. They're coming quickly.
Give me that strength roll, Dobbs. I just want to laugh.
What do you need me to do?
Turn the wheel. This
Turn
way.
the wheel.
This is a wheel. Turn it this way. He
I
points
know what it is.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Dobbs, fuck. First time.
Turn your fucking wheel.
Byron, tell me what that's like without it being cartoonish. Tell me how that plays out.
I mean, I don't know how sturdy this thing is, but I have a feeling he twisted the wheel clean off. He probably turned it, and wherever it stopped, he just kept going.
Yeah,
He's like, this turned enough for you?
and he's patting you on the shoulder, and you're just like, and you come up with the wheel in your hand. But there's air escaping from below, so this hatch is actually you
How
drop.
does that even happen?
I don't know, math.
It exploded
Exploding
3
roll,
times.
yeah. No, you know what I love about this is you rolled a 666. Merry holidays, everyone.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
Yeah. So, anywho, you drop this wheel and it rolls off to the side, and then there's the obvious sort of bulkhead, kind of old school, Navy bulkhead that you open the hatch, I should say. You open it up. Dobbs, you're the first person to see what's down there, and it's just this dark shaft, and you can hear water, but you cannot see it. It sounds like a stream in North Carolina.
Is there like ladder or like staircase or like what is it? Or just a shaft?
Seeing you sort of looking and like trying to, the doctor grasps your shoulder, like not confrontationally, but says, "This is the way the waste goes. It is safe.
The way the waste goes?
You will jump."
We're climbing in a toilet.
Well, not exactly a toilet.
Well,
It is.
I'm not so sure I want to do that, sir.
Then he glances over his shoulder.
It's like, you guys climbing in a shitter?
Oh, come on, Dobbs. You've done worse in your day.
Well, I'm worried about me. I'm worried about that. Won't that like mess with the infection in your arm?
It's probably fine.
All right. Well, good to go. I'll jump.
You just fucking jump. All
That's
right.
Without
jumping
further
up.
notice.
What he said.
Plug your nose in like cannonball, or is it?
No, I just don't. I'm just
They'll probably be fine. Oh,
gone. That
This
shit
is
is good. It's
awful.
good.
Well, let's
Yes.
go.
This is so action movie awesome right now. So let's have an athletics roll, please. Let's see how that works out.
I feel bad for y'all.
All right, it's all right. So literally, it's almost like just tell the stream, how does Dobbs emotionally prepare to just jump down? You don't know how far down the water is, or how deep the water is down there. It could be like that deep.
I mean, I probably don't really know how to jump, so I probably just like I'm leaping off a building. I'm just like,
Yeah. So you kind of
go.
step up and you say, all right, and you just, and you guys see Dobbs. He's a big dude, right? He just disappears into this. I'll tell you what you experience in a minute. Who does what? Like, how does that work out? Teddy shits himself. He's literally like, Mr. Dobbs! He goes diving toward the side. No! He looks back at you guys for validation. What do you do?
Go ahead,
I
Teddy.
just-
We'll be right behind you.
Yeah, I kind of walk up right beside Teddy, and I'm just like, what the hell? And I grab my bag full of crap, and I just jump right after.
Oh, man. All right, so you're
As you go through, did she have a bag with her?
yeah. So your athletics
does now.
roll. Your athletics roll, I gotta be realistic at least a little. Your athletics roll is gonna be trumped by -2 if you want to hang on to the stuff. Or you can choose roll, and if you get a raise, you hang on to your stuff. And if you do not, you may drop it.
Am I rolling at
you can
actual
use-
athletics, or would I be using agility at all?
It would be athletics, or if you don't have it, then it's agility, but it would be sort of at the trumped part, right? The unskilled. You should have
I do
athletics,
not
though.
have-
Everybody has athletics, right? At their base attribute,
Yeah, it's
right? That's a
big
core
attribute.
skill.
Oh, I actually do not have it on my sheet. I am so sorry.
So
but I have,
it would be
strength.
whatever your agility
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
Right.
you might not have the thing clicked where to show the.
Yeah, it's based on agility, I think.
Mhm.
We need to
Yeah, it's
put-
agility.
Yeah,
All right. I'm
it's
just gonna
agility. So
click agility. I gotta go over my sheet because
And-
there's some stuff that's not working. But
nice. So you can
-2.
Yep. So you still that's
Still 5.
not quite a raise. So you or you can spend a Benny if you want and re-roll. I'll let you pick whatever one plays out, but you can spend a Benny and re-roll because that's your right. And you guys you're like Benny City right now.
Yeah, I'll spend a Benny.
And I'm gonna give Ash. Actually, I should have given Ash a Benny for the montage of her being stoned chasing the bird. So let's say it's just you still have 3. You spin this one. Re-roll it for us.
Okay. Oh.
All right, so you probably take the first one.
Mm.
So you drop and a little bit on the way down because you've got this bag that you're trying to hold on to. I'll tell you what you experience in a minute as well. Okay, so Nate, Teddy is there looking at you for validation, and literally as he's looking back, Ash just steps up next to him and just.
Yeah, Nate sort of calls down behind her, like, keep that arm elevated. And then he sort of looks at Teddy and goes, I probably could have held that bag.
Benny, done. You get one. That's good. I love
Awesome.
it. Yeah.
This cinematics is just making me think of like
so
the 13th. The 13th warrior when they went underneath the water.
Yes. I probably could have held that bag. That's the episode title, guys. I probably could have held that bag. Done.
I was going to say something, but she was already trying to work out like the -2, and I was like, all right, I'll let it play out. I'm not gonna step in.
You gotta write that down.
Yeah, so
Next time, help me.
Yeah.
like I didn't want it to seem like it was a reaction to the penalty. I really should have done it.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
You're fine.
So yeah, Nate turns to Teddy and is like, so it's Nate, Teddy, the doctor, and John still there, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, he turns to Teddy and he says, "Don't be too far behind me, all right?" Like very like big brothery, I guess, not as a threat, but more of like as a comfort thing. Like, hey, I need you with me, buddy. And he starts making his way down.
You said that to Teddy?
Yeah.
Somebody give me a D4 spirit roll for Teddy, please. Just do me a D4. I'll let that way that everybody can see that I'm not rolling. Wild dice 10. Is that no? That was who was that? John. I'll take the first one.
Yeah.
I'll take the first one. So he grabs you, Mr. Nate. I won't leave you. Mr. Dobbs is teaching me how to fight. Let's go fuck something up. And you jump. Splash.
Oh, Jesus. I'm getting this guy killed.
You just
For
created
sure.
you just created a fucking knife murderer, Dobbs.
No.
And then right behind, give me an athletics roll, please, to follow your jump. And
This is not going to be good.
oh no, it's not.
I'm going to use a Benny for that.
Okay,
one.
that's probably smart. That's
Oh.
shit.
Hey, success.
So
That sounds better. Thank you for the wild dice. So you jump, and on the way down, the thing that you notice is you're watching up, and it's almost like slow motion, Nate. You see the mouth of the shaft, and Teddy's like in it already, and he's on his way down, and you're just like, not that soon.
like the water slide kid that's right behind me. Like, no.
Yeah, he is the water slide kid. That may be the other title for this episode.
The water slide.
Okay, so we're down to John and the doctor. Because Teddy just, you literally, you're like, no, you tried to grab at Teddy, and he just went. Just like, yeah, I'm going. The doctor's there. What do you do?
Well, Doc, I think you're up next.
No. I do not go.
That's all I come.
You're gonna die here if you stay. Remember what? You were tied up to a chair like that. That wasn't that long ago. You should still remember that.
They came to me as friends, he says, leaning in. They double
The people
crossed
that
me.
tied you up to a chair.
I have something for you. And he basically literally reaches behind like he's got it stuffed like in his crack, right? Like in his leather, and he pulls forward.
I again instinctively put my hand to my
Yeah, you just
revolver.
on your pistol. He pushes into your chest this skeletal fucking hand, and you see immediately it's held together with like brass wire. He presses it into your chest. The finger of Nicodemus. Give me a notice roll, please. Please, because this is all right. Straight up, straight for. The skeletal thing is in your chest, and as you're looking at it, right, it's right here, and it goes and points down the hole. I would be fine.
Not by like just gravity doing it, but like it moves.
Yes.
Interesting. What in the hell is this thing? Whose is this?
This is Nicodemus. It is what.
Can that be the episode title?
Doc, this is your last chance. I really don't think you should stay here. You're not going to fare well, especially if you're not giving me this, which I think I appreciate. Not positive on that yet. If you don't have this, they're going to kill you.
There is more that you need from me. Allow me to see this through.
I'm begging you. Can you elaborate?
No. And he walks away.
No. No.
I'm just like holding this thing, staring. I'm looking at a hole that is full of shit, and my, friendly companions and all that. I do take a card out of my deck and leave a Joker card, and then jump down the hole.
Oh yeah, get extra Benny. Write it down. You'll start the next session with an extra Benny because it's probably a little late in the session to give you an extra one. Maybe not. If you don't use it, I'll let you keep it because that's pretty sweet. So you leave that right on the edge, and you jump. Give me that athletics roll. Let's see how that works out for you. Okay, you may need this extra Benny now.
Yeah, I probably will. Oh wait, agility, athletics, wild dice again.
Dude, the wild dice are saving your life. So you just okay.
Fire.
So here's this moment, like if you've ever seen these movies that do the rewind thing. So all the way back. So Dobbs, you basically just drop into this cold ass water, right? And there's just, and you're just blasted and churned around. And then suddenly you find yourself bumping into something that you kind of blindly grab at. And that's more or less the experience that each one of you has received, except for Nate. Nate, you in the water and you're like, oh, and then suddenly boom, right into you comes Teddy. And the two of you guys, I'm going to say who was Dobbs? No, it would have been Ash. Ash was just before you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ash, you see this occur. Teddy lands on Nate and drives him under, and you see them cruising along. Your eyes are still wet. I'll give you the details of where you are, but they're getting swept along. They need your help. What do you do?
Unmute myself first. I shout to Dobbs. I say, hey Dobbs, I might need your help grabbing these guys.
It's literally
keep an eye out.
you're like,
Yeah.
like you can't even, like, you just see them. It's you or no one.
Cool. I guess I try and just grab Nate
Okay.
if I can.
I love that. I'll grab Nate and let Mr. Map Crotch go just down the river.
Well, I
Okay.
assume they're kind of like holding on to each other a little bit, or no?
Yes, I think so. I think I could
I only
take.
got one good arm.
That's true. That's true. I'll take agility. You're gonna have that at -1, I will say. Because for the broke arm.
So I got a 2.
You got some bennies.
Yeah, I'll spend another Benny.
Roll them if you got them.
You roll them if you got them. Oh,
That's better.
So you reach out
Much better.
and like your heart sinks because you want to feel Nate's, and then you grab him by his face and like wind up like, and you're just like pulling his. He's like, and you're just pulling him back with that last minute grab. Nate, you have something in your hand and you don't know what it is. It's Teddy, but there's this train of people being pulled back. I'll wait till Byron returns from pee-pee break to tell you what
I assume I'm just like swallowing mouthfuls of shit water as my mouth is open and her hand is like stuffed in my mouth.
What's interesting is you would expect to taste, I don't know that it's familiar, but you would expect to taste the, because it was waste. It's fresh water. The only thing that you smell is that sort of overly like dank, sort of enclosed stone Disney ride kind of smell.
It smells like Small World. That's
It
just
smells like Small World. It does.
It's just the water of Pirates of the Caribbean you're drinking.
Oh,
Sure,
God,
that's fine.
that's so much
I would
worse.
rather lick a sewage pipe.
Go ahead.
There it is. Okay, so basically, Dobbs, you are in water that's you hit the ground in a sort of tidal pool, and it's only deep just where you landed. So now the trouble is, as you guys are all here, picture a room roughly the size of a typical very small bathroom, right? Very jagged walls all the way around and water flowing right the hell through it. Comes in that way, goes out that way, stone walls all the way around, and an absolutely unclimbable shaft up that way. And because she's awesome, and it was awesome, and she got a great roll, there's this weird sack stuck on a really jagged piece of rock. Just water flowing through it. I'll give you the sack, Ash. I'll tell you what that's all about later. What do you guys do? You're happily down here now.
I think every man in the group is glad that it was Ash's sack and none of our sacks that got caught on the jagged rock.
Wah,
If anybody's
wah,
getting a sack on,
wah,
Let it be
wah.
Ash, please.
Yes,
Is it possible to take psychic damage?
it is. Give yourself
It is.
all the psychic damage ever.
spirit roll.
I'm up on the
As
second model.
the last one down, I inform everyone. Trimaris couldn't convince the doc to come. He's staying up there, says he has one last gift to us, and ran off. I'm hoping he's going to try to take him out with him. Hand me this. I don't know what this is.
He holds up, guys. Seriously. Picture like from science class, right? Like the scientific skeleton model that's held together with like, you know, probably steel wire. This is with brass wire. And he holds it up and it's pointing right at Teddy.
Is that? I like look down at my arm, just like.
Is it the pointer finger?
Yep.
Okay.
What the hell is that, John?
Well, this would be the finger and forearm of Nicodemus.
It is literally a complete skeletal, you know.
So,
well, that explains it then.
Right there with you.
It points to the map.
No.
That's how they were going to find Teddy.
Hang on.
That's how they were going to find Teddy.
Dobbs, give me a notice roll. Because you're onto it. Give me +1. Well, why
yeah,
dice?
Nate's
What
like, what the hell are you talking about?
More
like, no, it
specifically-
doesn't. I start moving it.
More specifically, just as you move it, he's saying this, it literally turns and it points to Teddy. But Dobbs, at this moment, you realize it's pointing not only to Teddy, it's pointing to Teddy's crotch. What do you do with that realization? The rest of you is like, oh, it's pointing to Teddy, and you're like, Teddy is like, huh? Because it's you move this thing around, and its index finger literally like.
It's like, that's how the Futleys were gonna find Teddy.
Which finger are we talking about here?
I'm sorry, gentlemen, everybody. Can somebody? I've only got one arm here. Can somebody grab my bag and let's get the hell out of here? We can figure this out later. We gotta go.
Nate's like, yeah, of course. And he sort of like reaches out to grab the bag and he's sort of slinging it over his shoulder. He's like, we got to get out of here.
There's fragile stuff in there. Don't shake it.
He has like this glimpse of that glowing shit that was on the counter. And he's like afraid to look in the bag. He just like, Ash, what did you grab?
Don't worry about it.
I don't know, what'd you grab? And he's like sort of like following her, like, no, tell me, what'd you grab?
We'll go through it later. Don't worry about it. We just gotta go. Let's just go.
Mr. John, I don't know that I'm comfortable with you aiming that thing's finger at me.
Trust me, Teddy. I ain't comfortable with it either.
And as you move it,
we're gonna talk about this later. I just like grab a scarf and put it over.
Where do you store it? Do you
put a glove?
Right out, handkerchief.
You put your bandana over it.
Yeah, there we go. So we gotta go down this tube. Is that what I'm seeing here? So I'm kind of like looking around the room as the last one down.
And it's loud in here. Water rushing.
Do we follow the water or go which way? Doc tell you which way, John?
I think we only got one way to go, right? We're just water. I wouldn't know what water slide is. We're just riding this current down, I think, right? I don't see any other way out of this room.
Yeah, I'm with John. I think we got to keep moving forward.
I don't think there's another way. So I'll just put my arms across my chest and just let it go.
Again, he's gone.
Yeah. Woo!
I look at Nate and I say, "Don't jostle the bag." And then I do the same thing and I just follow my Teddy.
She leaves you with her fucking crazy toxic waste bag. I love it. Okay. So we're gonna need Dobbs. Let's have a swimming roll, if you don't mind. You're probably not gonna die, but
I think this will be an appropriate time to spend one of my 2 bennies.
Yeah, because you don't get all 3. Why?
I do not.
Because you got bad luck.
I do. Happens.
Where the hell is your horse?
There
Damn.
He's on the ridge, probably.
Probably
not on the ridge. Or he's probably not on the ridge.
So Byron, picture with me your character, right? He's going through this. Picture like a Wet and Wild commercial, right? if the downward tube were made of jagged rock.
Yeah.
You're literally but you're okay. You're figuring it out. You're literally like skinned all over. And I'll tell you what you experience here in a second. Who's next with it was Ash, right behind Dobbs. Give me your swimming roll.
Okay. Again, don't have swimming, so I'm assuming it's agility based.
Yes. I think that's probably right. Damn.
I am a good swimmer.
Likewise.
Even with one arm.
So you go down, and the only thing that's awful, right, is you hit these just jagged rocks and just hit, it feels like every one is hitting your wound and just ripping it open more, right? Like it's stitched shut in places, and you just can feel those stitches tugging. Your head kind of hits a couple times, but nothing worse for the where you do stay conscious the whole ride along, and just the water is just swirling all around, getting in your nose and your mouth, your eyes. You have no idea what's going on. This is not engineered for your amusement so much as just nature. Okay, John and Nate, you remain. Nate's got a Santa bag over his shoulder.
Yeah, Nate starts rubbing the upper part of his ribs, and he looks at Teddy. Because this time, Teddy, I'm gonna follow you.
Why doesn't Ash make a spirit roll for Teddy for us? D4, because he's not very spiritual. Mr. Nate, I don't know. Did you hear her shouting on the way down? We're safe right here. Why don't we just wait here?
So Nate tries to like play through that scenario with him and says, "All right, Teddy, let's do that. Are we just gonna live here? Are you gonna make us dinner? How are we gonna eat? Or what happens when they figure out how to get through that hatch?"
As soon as he says that, I push Teddy.
Okay. Shit.
Nate just sort of like takes a half step back.
Please give me a D4. The swimming roll, and -1 for the head first fall into the tube.
D4. Oh.
Okay.
Ouch.
So you kind of, and you Teddy, and he falls head first into this kind of, because you're sort of hanging on together, right? You kind of nudge him into the flow, which just drags him into this. And there's some sounds. There's a, and then not much more from Teddy. So this is a good place to let the camera change.
Yeah, Nate sort of like looks at John, and like, all right.
A little
like
bad.
Yeah. Like I don't think anything is said, but we both know, like, all right, maybe that was a little fucked up.
Yeah.
And we kind of give the 1, 2, 3 count. I won't get after him and just kind of like jump and slide.
Give me your rolls. So while you're doing that, and we're thinking about how that plays out, Ash, Dobbs. Ouch. Wait, hang on. Let's talk about this roll here. It's 3 and 1. So, Nate, you gonna live with that one? You're gonna spend a Benny?
Oh, I'm gonna spend a Benny. I'm gonna try that one again. My agility is so bad. Why do we have to do like acrobatics and stuff today?
Yeah, that's much better. I love it's like a do-over, right? Like the camera rewinds real fast. And you're like, oh no, that didn't.
Like Prince of Persia. That's not how it happened.
Okay.
Only hopefully better cinematography.
Right. Go.
Wait a respectful amount of time before jumping in after him. Take a deep breath.
You wait till the lifeguard's like, go.
Yeah.
The green light.
And now, once it's his, well, Nate wouldn't be screaming, but I'm sure Teddy's still screaming.
Nope.
And
nice. Okay.
the wild dice again.
So thinking about how you would prefer not to have your cards and your paraphernalia get wet, you sort of gather your coat about you and you leave the scene of this underground weird river conjunction situation behind. So, Dobbs, as we saw before, you are literally just stinging all over. Both you and Ash exit the other side. Just kind of encountering rocks and whatnot, just bang, and You get scratched up, basically get barfed out into this pool, and the water's just steadily pouring and kind of fanning out into a wider body of water here, which is good. Trouble is, Teddy comes out right behind Ash, limp as a biscuit, in the water. Arms at a weird, just awkward angle.
Oh shit!
What do you do?
I guess I try and grab him if I see him.
You do. You absolutely,
Yeah.
pretty much right behind, more or less right behind you. If you call it a handful of seconds, and you fish him over, and he is just limp. He's bleeding from all kinds. He just got pushed in and wasn't ready for it. Just bang, 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 bang the whole way down. You know.
Wasn't ready.
Ooh. I just go ooh, and then try and drag him out of the water. Keep his head above the water as best I can.
You drag him over. There's a little bit of an edge, not like a beach, like where Gollum would be with the ring or whatever, but there's enough of an area where you can bring him over.
Is Dobbs? Was Dobbs down here yet? Or yeah?
Yeah, I was first.
Yep.
I'm like, help me out with this, and I start shoving him up onto the.
Yeah, I'll snag him and throw him up on the beach.
Okay. The beach being about this much, you pull him up, and and as you turn him, a tooth just like out of his mouth that was knocked loose in his transition down. And then suddenly, thinking about timing, suddenly behind you, John's like, Nate's like, or reverse or whatever it was.
Yeah, so when Nate hits the water, he starts looking for Teddy. He kind of heard the bing bang bong silence. Is he down at the bottom already? What's going on? So he kind of comes up and breaches the water. And where's Teddy?
You see Ash sort of fishing him over, and Dobbs. She and Dobbs have got him. Yeah,
Most of him made it.
We got him, Nate, but he's not looking well for the wire.
He's more irritated, I think, than like concerned. Just shit. He just kind of like side swims over to see how he's doing.
he's dead.
Oh.
There's no doubt. He's bleeding out of his eye. He's not breathing. You roll up and you've seen it. I mean, obviously people see people die at this, Teddy's dead. You do have Ash's bag though, which is sweet. But what do? You're looking down and he's just there and the water's just washing and it washes his shirt open and it reminds you of this map.
Teddy, wake up, man. Come on, we ain't got time to be fucking around.
Mr. Nate, I don't know if that's gonna work.
No, he's fine. He was fine. He was just up top there. Fine. We were having a conversation before. He kind of looks at John. He slipped.
Oh, am I out
Yeah, we
at
both.
this point? Oh, okay. Well, I'm getting out of the water. I'm just like, well, Teddy, how was that for you? I'm thinking it's fine at this point.
So your
Walk
math
up
brain
and see.
kicks in, John, and you notice that his head, it's like at that weird angle that the hung people get when they take them down from the gallows and their neck's still a little not out, not moving.
I basically just walk up and am dead quiet and just kind of muttering on my breath and be like, son of a bitch, Teddy. This can't be like this, right?
You hunker down and he's there and all of his innocence is just like, he's dead. John with an H, as you're there in the rush of the water, he's dead.
Nate looks at John and fuck, John.
It was barely a shove. I figured he would have been fine. We all
Yeah.
made it down here fine.
You shoved him down the hole, and you thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, Nate
Well,
doesn't look like he's blaming you. More like we just saw the last moments of this man's life. Not like what have you done, but just like the gravity of the situation is just
Right.
suddenly starting to wash over.
And about this moment, and here's where we're going to end the stream. John with an H feels something in his accoutrement shifting to point at Teddy.
That's crotch.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was it for episode 10. We'll be back soon with episode 11.